Saturday morning, 7:30 a.m. Eastern time. Liverpool hosting Chelsea. Liverpool's minus 118. Chelsea sitting at plus 320 with the draw at plus 275. Two big six clubs that are having a lot of problems. You know what I was thinking about when I was doing the prep for this? I was like, remember last January when these two were meeting? It was right at the end of the Christmas break. Both were kind of competing for the title and the buildup and how big that match was. And now we're here where we're like, I don't know. I'm in the position where I'm like, I don't want to bet either of these teams right now, but you seem to love a side in this match.
I do like Chelsea, and I'll be betting Chelsea, and I have bet Chelsea. If you follow me in the app, then you know I took the Blues plus a half. Look, both these midfields are broken. I'm not going to deny that. Chelsea did show signs of life, though. They had two back-to-back encouraging performances. I know they lost to Fulham, but you look at the shots in that match. They created 13 shots in the first half. One expected goals pretty comfortably. A fluke red card. They lose the match 2-1, but I thought they played really well. I actually upgraded Chelsea after that loss to Fulham, which is kind of funny to say. But Chelsea got bumped. And then they played a pretty encouraging match against, Palace, where, they had two or three good chances. I felt a little fortunate to push my Palace +1 in that match. The defense looked improved. I think that there are the tiniest of signs of maybe turning a corner here and being an above average team again. Liverpool's trending the opposite direction, 100%. I mean, look, they played FA Cup match against Wolves on Tuesday. It flew under the radar because, it's the FA Cup replay, nobody cares. But they went to Wolves. They lost the XG 1.4 to 0.2. They scored early. Elliott, nice goal. But they were really, really bad again. They got pummeled by Brighton. And this is a weird spot for them too. I mean, they're in a crisis period where they're not getting any of their guys back except maybe Nunez. But even Nunez coming back doesn't fix the fact that Van Dijk is out and the midfield is just kind of, I think, done. I'm getting to the point now after watching the Brighton match where you're seeing Liverpool do everything they tried to do for years successfully and none of it is working. And I think that's a major problem against Chelsea, who, despite their problems, has what I think will be an improving defense going forward. I think that's what we're going to see with Chelsea. So at plus a half here, I think these two teams are both a mess. I'm going to take the draw protection and take the half a goal. I actually project this number right around the same, but given the trend lines, I'm going to take Chelsea.
Yeah, I like over 3 goals at plus 115. You mentioned the dismantling by Brighton. What was interesting about what Klopp tried to do and why he's like, it was my fault, it completely backfired. He tried to stay so narrow with Liverpool's pressing because Brighton loves to build out of the back. They love to use their center backs to be the ones that build through the middle of the pitch. It's why they've dismantled so many teams. He was so worried about that he pushed Thiago all the way up the pitch to essentially press the Brighton center backs and try to keep the team shape. And Brighton just would play 2 passes right through them out to Matoma. And then it's Matoma versus Alexander-Arnold. And they just did that over and over and over again. And it just completely dismantled them. Now, Chelsea, they've had their issues in the final third, but they still do have the talent in the midfield and out wide. Probably won't see Mudryk in this one, but they definitely still, even with all the injuries, they still have enough talent there to exploit Liverpool in those areas. And Liverpool's defense, I mean, it's just flat out horrible this year. And now without Van Dijk, we've talked about last episode, maybe it's not the worst thing in the world that Van Dijk is out because Konate is such a great center back right now. But Liverpool is still 12th in non-penalty expected goals allowed. In fact, the last time that Liverpool held an opponent under 1 expected goal in the Premier League, can you name that time?
I will say maybe Newcastle
on August 31st. It's been 13 matches since they've held an opponent under 1 expected goal. But the flip side of that is Liverpool's offense, they're still creating a ton of chances. They're still around 1.8 expected goals per 90 minutes. Darwin Nunez will be back. He's obviously, he's had his finishing issues, but he's still, second highest XG per 90 striker in the Premier League right now, behind Haaland. So, and Chelsea, on the other hand, they're still bottom 10 in expected goals allowed. Their defense still hasn't shown any signs of being the elite defense that we've saw under Tuchel or maybe early on under Potter. So I have 3.5 goals projected for this match. Liverpool's matches are averaging a little over 3.2 expected goals this season. So I am showing a little bit of value on over 3 goals at plus 115. All right.
Well, one thing, I think it goes in cycles. And I think,
Right.
we hit the bottom of the market on United after that Brighton Brentford, situation. Ten Hag coming in was going to start to turn it around eventually. I think we've hit the bottom of the market on Chelsea here. I'm going to put my line in the sand and say that I think we've found the bottom on Chelsea, and that some of those closing numbers against Fulham and against Palace, that they closed minus 120 at home against Palace. I think that's kind of the bottom here. I think we're getting toward the cycle on Liverpool where we reach the bottom, but I don't think we've gotten there yet. And the market has come down here. They were minus 140, 135. Look ahead, down to minus 115 now. We're getting to the point where we're nearing the bottom, but again, I don't think it's come yet. They'll probably get healthy before they hit the bottom, but I think this is a good Chelsea spot.